Hello, I'm Rich Phippen and I'm the director of Bunch of Amateurs. And you are?
I'm Marc White, Dorking Wanderers manager, chairman, owner.
Right, and we are sitting down today to watch one of our favourite episodes from Bunch of Amateurs, and it's not one of Mark's games, this is one of Barks's, and this is the Wandgas thriller, which was a county cup game, I think. Tournament I'm guessing that you've played in before.
Yeah, we've played in all these leagues, and I've played at this venue.
Have
know
you?
where it is, yeah.
Well, you personally played?
Yeah, personally played. We've been in all these divisions. Yeah, been there, done it really.
This one, I think Epsom, the ground they played on in Epsom was flooded or something, so at the last minute they switched to this park in Epsom that was covered in leaves. And Barks managed to rope in, I think his name's Richard Pell, who's a used to play at your level. He was coming down for the weekend to hang out with Barks, so he got him to play, which was a bonus because he's a high quality defender. Yeah, funny with Barks' team talks a lot shorter than yours, but I guess he doesn't have as much time to investigate the opposition. Yeah,
I think at this level, largely you're just turning up and worrying about what you're doing. You don't really know too much about the oppo. We get videos of the opposition mandated by the league. You have to, you get sent essentially your next opposition. So yeah, at this level you're more so motivating and talking about what you're going to do, and you hope to have a highly adaptable team that during the match can change as and when they need to,
When did you first start having any sense of who you're up against and having any scouting?
I think even in this league, if there was an opportunity to go and watch a team, you would. But obviously, there's no floodlights. So everyone plays Saturdays, so you never had a chance to. So it was really when you started playing in divisions with floodlit football, because then you wouldn't, you might not be playing on a Tuesday, but your opposition were.
Right.
So you go down there. So it kind of just started like that, really. Or if you have a spare Saturday, but the biggest tip you ever give a non-league manager is just to keep watching games. You get a flavour for it, you get to know the players, you get to know what works, what doesn't. I spent donkey's years watching games. And Steve King, now the Dartford manager, I met Steve probably 15 years ago watching Eastbourne Town in the Sussex County Division 1. Right. And I met him there and he was sat on a bench, and at the time he was a really high profile manager, more so than even now. But it's one of the things that good managers have done, they just watch games constantly. You get a lot of people want to be managers but are not prepared to go around and watch a game.
Right,
and really that's
put the hours in, right?
Yeah, you've got to put the graft in.
Well, none of us had seen Wandgas, we hadn't heard anything about them, but they were massively up for this game. They had heard of Charlwood and they were they had a big crowd, they're very excitable, and they came flying out the blocks. And the tackles just went flying in straight away.
Yeah.
Look at that pitch, on those leaves. It's on a hill, it's covered in leaves.
Yeah, been here, done this. What you tend to get at this level is people take the opportunity of poor refs. Refs are poor, don't follow the laws, and then games often escalate out of control.
Yeah, that was absolutely the case here. It wasn't just his decision making, it was the lack of discipline that he had on the players. Like he gives a drop ball in a minute and he lets them contest it, which was a bad idea in a game like this anyway, and also you're not supposed to contest drop balls apparently. It was his failure to clamp down. I mean, it's not just Wandgas. Tom Tennant there was throwing himself around quite a bit.
The first tackle I saw from a Charlwood player, but good referees, they show a yellow where it's appropriate and they settle the game down.
This challenge to be a foul. He is, however, more interested in giving a drop ball when a tree branch.
The ball hits a tree there and gets stuck and comes back.
Brilliant.
Book it, ref.
Contested drop ball, that's interesting.
Yeah, he asked to referee the game, we found out later, and he was quite pally with the Wandgas players. And he gives a free kick there, absolutely no fucking clue what that's for. So yeah, it was clear straight away that this wasn't going to be 11 against 11. You know,
it's such a shame officiating because, you know, the gentleman no doubt is, you know, hard working in terms of puts the effort in, but what you've got with officials is you've got this kind of thing where they all know there's a shortage, they all know that they're in high demand, and it's kind of like the dog wags the tail. So what I mean is, like, you know, they're quite dictatorial, or what's the word, Richard? Dictatorial, you know. So you'll get a ref commonly that turns up that literally says, I like to referee like this. And you think, what a strange fucking comment.
Right.
How about you like to referee the laws of the game?
Yeah,
that's what
point.
I'd rather. I don't want to know that you like to let a bloke have 3 chances to break the law before booking, or 1.
Yeah.
I don't like to know that you consider dissent, you know, when I tell you to fuck off for the 15th time, not the first. So my big thing about, do you know, I genuinely love to get involved in officials and trying to regenerate it, 'cause it's a real mess. Look at that.
Tom should have gone for that one. That was a 2-footed stand. Right. But then Barks here was getting massively involved, and that's something you both have in common, and I guess it's a thing with managers, is an effort to distract the opposition, because it's the only way he can affect the game at that point.
Yeah.
Were you always like that? Were you like that at Barks' level?
I was worse.
Were you?
I was way worse than now, because you knew you had to influence big time. You had to influence the referees because they were so bad, and often you'd have club linesmen. So you'd also want to try and influence the club linesman. You know, you know, if people knew you weren't there to take shit, most of the time you had half a chance. So that's why we had to be that way.
Oi! Well done, referee! There as well. Well done, referee, kicking the ball away as well.
Half an hour has passed before Charlwood have their first efforts on target. Justin's low shot is parried.
But I think Charlwood were they were a little bit scared at first. I think that they got pushed around a bit and they couldn't get going. They're 2-0 down in 20 minutes. I mean, look at these challenges.
Yeah, challenges escalate, don't they? They escalate as the ref keeps letting them get away with it. It escalates.
Yeah.
Blatant push on James Tyler.
But you know, some of the early ones from Charlwood were, you know, laws of the game. They're yellows, potentially a red card in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're pretty biased on the commentary in that, but Charlwood definitely is guilty, I think, at times in this game. But it took him ages to get going. I think Barks is playing 4-2-3-1, I think, at this point. Like, he was wedded to that. Whichever formation it was one he was wedded to. Whereas nowadays he would change quite a bit. Yeah. He'd adapt it, whereas here he's like, this is how we play and they've got to deal with it.
I mean, one of the things, if ever we're playing a team and we think they're physically stronger or we think they're a bit naughty, my tactic would be to get on with them. I'd say don't try and fight fire with fire. I'll tell the centre forward to talk to the centre half. You know, I'll tell them on purpose, don't make it a cup final, be clever, be smart. You know what I mean? Like, because...
That's interesting. I've heard you say don't make it a cup final before. Do you still say a lot of the things that you've said, like in your previous life as a non-league, as a lower league manager? Yeah, we played teams in our league, and I think if you make this their cup final, they've got the ability to put 30% on their game. Right. And you know, like we've seen in this game here. Like, I know we've watched it. You know, I know it's edited highlights, whatever it might be, but Charlwood had gone throwing some tackles in their early bells. Not sure that's an accurate description of who started it first, but you know, the opposition have risen to it. You know. Yeah.
Take it to them this half. Trust each other. Move the ball. Whatever the scoreline this half, show yourselves. Show our truth.
Yeah, he does like a Churchillian speech at half time. He's always been very effective at that.
Yeah. I think Barks is excellent, great motivational speaker.
In this half counts. And let's leave our heads held high, knowing all of us.
Yeah, I was always blown away at first at his ability to think on his feet as to what to say. Like, I'm clearly not a public speaker. Everything that I say on Bunch of Amateurs is pre-written. Yeah. So to watch him and then latterly to watch yourself doing that stuff, I'm like, I'd have frozen. I definitely would have frozen. But they turn it on in this half. They really start, because Charlwood always did a good job of knocking the ball around no matter what surface they were on. They had some really tight players in there.
I know.
There's Murphs there in the middle. He used to play with Jordan Cheadle, I think. Him and Barks used to play at a fairly decent level.
Oh, it's a bloody competitive game.
Yeah, it was a good one to watch. Like, it was exciting, really. I think it might be the first time I celebrated Charlwood scoring, because I didn't have that big an affinity for him, but I think because of this one being 2 down and how nasty Wandgas were. I mean, yeah, they were both throwing challenges around, but it's in this second half that the Wandgas players start doing some really naughty stuff. And I think that's because the Charlwood turned the screw on them quite a bit.
It's some lovely football, considering the pitch. It's bubble, massive bubble there.
On the hour mark, the simmering climate finally boils over.
There's a kick there as well!
So Murph definitely knew that he crossed the line there with a little shove. But
he shoves him, and he's wearing gloves.
He is,
I mean, that's what I'm drawn to. You know?
I think he might be the only one as well.
Well, yeah.
The referee eventually books Murphs for his aggressive attempt to reclaim the
Back
ball.
then, we used to have cameras all over the joint, and it's a bit of a technical one, but you don't have, when you're filming stuff, the cameras should all be on the same side, so that when you switch between the cameras, left and right are always the same. So at this point, Charlwood are running in the opposite direction to the other camera.
Yeah.
And it took us a while to learn that stuff.
Stress the home defence out. As if to illustrate this point, the Wandgas captain swings an arm into Kevin Locke's face.
And then he spits in his general direction, this guy.
Ref, it's dangerous out there now!
The charming lad then spits at Murphs. To the surprise of nobody, the referee decides the appropriate course of action for such chavvy behaviour is not a red card and a lengthy ban, but a drop ball.
A drop ball?
Another contested drop ball.
That'd be one of those, yeah, I like to contest drop balls. What's the law say?
So after some referees discussed this game, they were saying that that's the only thing that he definitely got wrong, that you can prove he got wrong, because you're not supposed to do contested drop balls anymore. I would argue he got a lot more wrong. But
They sort of back each other, do you know what I mean? So the referee brigade, which you know, but that's only a certain. There's also lots of really good and honest refs that don't back each other. But it's like any walk of life. You sort of get these sort of like little groups of people that, you know, like to back each other. And
well, that's the thing. I think there's certainly a core group of referees out there who.
This radical referee guy.
Yeah, they're trying to redress the balance, aren't they?
Yeah,
by being completely the other way.
This radical referee guy is pretty much disliked by every referee that I know, but he purports to be like the voice of referees.
Yeah, right.
He's the one that classic. He said the bloke got it right about the tape on socks, and then someone stuck an image of him on Twitter where he's refereeing, and weren't even fucking bothered. What a guy! Useless. Absolutely useless.
Yeah, I think guys like that are kind of implying that referees are infallible, whereas I don't think that's really what anyone demands. I think you demand, and everyone says demand consistency. I'm not sure I even know what that always means, but I think you certainly expect them to admit when they're fucked up.
Well, I think whenever you can apply the laws, you've got to apply the laws. That's the consistent part. If there's a law to be applied, be consistent with with that. I've got to say, from what I've watched at the moment, like, it's competitive both ways. There's no question.
Yeah, I think the teams do have to take some responsibility into the way that this game went, as much as the referee. This isn't all about the referee at all. There's Zach with the biggest number 1 on a shirt we've ever seen. I don't. It's an all right
quality game as well, you know, considering. I mean, it's so competitive.
Other than muddy pitches, this is one of the worst pitches I've ever come across. And it's barely even a pitch, really, it's just a park.
It looks small as well.
Yeah, it's very small. And we're getting to like the last 10 minutes now, I think, and it's 100% Charlwood. They have the odd counter, but Charlwood keep pushing it back on them. Ben Davey, the fitness expert. Like, I love that pass. There's Payne, he's the captain, he's the manager of Charlwood now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's only him, Zach the goalkeeper, I think Ben Davey has signed on. There's like 3 or 4 of these guys left now. Everyone else just got
What division now then? Same one?
Combined Counties Division 2, something like that, because they moved across. I love that goal.
What a goal that is.
So I think he was Hawley Town, Justin.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the 2 or 3 that Bart's,
Yeah, of course he was. I know.
Bart's got from Hawley Town. I know he got injured and then he had a baby, so I'm not sure he plays anymore.
Proper finish. It's only ever going in, that one.
Yeah, he could turn it on when he needed to, Justin.
This 2-2.
2-2 now, yeah. It goes straight to pens because it's December or whatever. There's no time for extra time. And they probably should have won it, to be fair, Charlwood, I think.
And Charlwood want the winner.
Time! Josh, can we get delivery in? Well done! Suck it up! Hey!
That's
Brilliant!
Pegged back, feeling the pressure. Yeah, it's just randomly turns the throw the other way. Like, no one was expecting that. It was an odd one.
I mean, it must be bloody hard with no linesman. I mean, it must be hard. It must be a hard job.
Yeah. Oh, we've got the hair pulling coming up. So this guy was ravenous. Never seen anything quite like it. So he pulls Tom's hair here. And then he...
Strange.
Yeah.
Hair pulling.
Tom knows how to wind him up a bit.
Scrappy dude.
Yeah.
We've all been there, do you know what I mean? In terms of, I mean, getting annoyed on the pitch. I mean, it's a hair pull, not a punch. You know, that's akin to a Chinese burn or something.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty close.
You know what I mean?
I don't understand what he booked him for. Like, whatever he saw, surely if it's worth a booking, it's worth a red, but whatever. I mean, it wouldn't have made much difference at this stage for the last couple of minutes. And particularly given that they're going uphill, Charlwood did brilliantly to pound him in.
The pitch looks tiny.
In the final seconds, Payne gets in behind.
I mean, they're shattered, the Wandgas players. That should have been it. I mean, he should have found Kev with that ball and Kev would have put that away.
Yeah, yeah. Is he quit now, Kev?
Kev, yeah.
Yeah.
He came back at the end of last season. I talked him into coming back
That's
for
right, I
a
remember,
game. Yeah. And then that was it. Probably Charlwood's greatest ever goal scorer. And Merstham, I think. He was big at Merstham, wasn't he, Kev Lot?
Yeah.
So I missed a lot of this team talk because I'm running around doing GoPros. I decided to put all 4
for the
GoPros
penalties,
behind one goal. And that was a bad decision because I missed a lot of this. I missed him selecting the... I put the camera down for some reason.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, organisational skills back then weren't great.
With penalties, you've always got to tell them who's taking them. Never ever make it optional.
Right, okay.
Never. No way.
There's a lesson there.
Yeah, no, you can't win. You've just got to... I do the same thing every time, right? Here's the order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
Put it the same way you always put it. If you miss, no problem.
Okay.
Literally, that's it. If you give them the option, you get people that are shit putting their hand up.
My dad always told me the first team to miss in a shootout always wins. And do you know what? It happens more often than you'd think.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy, I can't verify this, so this is only alleged. Apparently that goalie was smoking a massive joint before the shootout.
Possibly at this level.
And it seemed to work because like he got every single penalty right. And Payne's the kick taker.
He's calmed himself down.
Yeah. Yeah, he has. Payne, that's the first time I'd seen Payne miss a penalty as well. Like he was lethal.
You just want your keeper to go one way or the other, don't you? Oh, didn't get down quick enough.
I was a goalkeeper and every penalty I went up against I touched and didn't save, which I think says a lot about my goalkeeping skills. One smashed my lip, blew up, blood everywhere.
Really?
Came off me, hit the bar and went off my head and in.
Oh, what a save.
It was a great save, isn't it?
Find out who his dealer is. What a save.
Yeah, I threw the drone up as well. I forgot about that. I threw the drone in the air. And it wasn't really that good for penalties, but it's got a nice, it's nice for the build up. Good pen. I was thinking that I should probably put the drone up for you one day, just for the whole game. You'd get a great shot of their shape.
Oh, be brilliant. Be amazing.
Scores this one. Zach says next one, job done. Nurse put his foot for it right down the middle.
Well, it's unbelievable, the keeper.
Yeah, that was a Besant one, wasn't it?
Zach insists that he's off.
I mean, he's a good goalie, this guy.
Yeah.
He's a good goalie. Can tell. He knows his stuff.
Zach's kicking off because he's coming off his line. Didn't work. And Zach's got some excellent qualities, and he is a good shot stopper. But penalty saves weren't his forte. I used to have a trick when I was in goal, where I would. This is why I tended to go the right way. I'd make out like I'd hurt my hand on that side, and like, I'd even take the glove off and be like, "Ow!" and they'd always go that way.
Funny.
Yeah.
That was a convincing.
Oh, hang on. Zach just nailed a guy in the head. Probably the best shot of the day. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
No, I was going to say it was convincing. Great shootout from their perspective. Wandgas, keeper and penalty takers.
Yeah.
Referees over there with them.
He is. So Zach's not letting it go about the keeper coming off the line.
All shaking hands though. You don't mind seeing that. All getting on with it.
Yeah, I think Zach's handshakes are a bit firmer than everyone else's, but yeah, like Charlwood accepted their defeat fairly gracefully. Zach doesn't fear anybody, so he's always willing to have an argument. Look at the size of that one, though.
It's a massive one, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, the ref then came up to me and said he wanted to be interviewed, which I'd never experienced before. I don't think anyone's ever come up to me and said, "Please interview me," but the referee was like, "Can we?" So I had to do that instead of getting inside for the post-match talk. And the GoPro wasn't running, so I missed the talk. That's why I now have the GoPro running at all times. That way I don't miss anything.
Do you know what? That's like every park game. We've played in 50 of those probably.
That resilience to fight back from 2-0 down, to go all the way and push them all the way to penalties. That's what I take.
I've got to say, objective and all that. You know, there's both sides were at it there from day one, and Charlwood give a good account in the physical aspect.
Yeah, because it wasn't really what they were known for.
No, but then the minute they settled down playing football, they just outplayed them. So
they did, yeah.
You know.
I think this shot, I only had a 10-second shot of the building, so I kept looping it because obviously I had Barks' microphone. I saw them do this in All or Nothing when Pep probably didn't let them in the dressing room.
Yeah.
They just shoot the door instead. I thought, well, if it's good enough for Amazon.
He was rather eager to talk to us after the game, which always makes us a little suspicious.
Tough game for the teams, not difficult for me.
He goes on to say he doesn't watch Premier League football because of the inconsistent refereeing.
I thought Charlwood started the better and found themselves 2-0 down, and Wandgas hadn't even got going. So to get a 2-goal advantage that early in the game within the first 15 minutes, and you have
yeah, strange comment that is. A strange comment to.
It's not really what you expect the ref to be thinking about.
No, not really.
Much the better side. They got back, they got to 2-2. If we'd have gone on another 5-10 minutes, I think they might have got a winner. Well, let me tell you now, I don't watch football on TV. And one of the reasons I don't watch the football on the TV as a referee is I get frustrated watching the referee and the way they carry on, because they do not apply the laws of the game.
So this is one of the few times, so this is something I'm always looking to do, mix it up a bit. They went to the pub round the corner from me actually afterwards, and And I thought, well, I'll pull the camera out and hopefully they won't mind.
Yeah.
But they were in fairly good form and they didn't really notice me filming. They'd gotten quite used to the camera by now. But Barks was always big on that, making sure that they stuck around for a drink afterwards, no matter what had happened. We suddenly remembered Keith, who used to come and follow Charlwood everywhere. He'd gone absolutely apoplectic on the sidelines. It was like, what happened to Keith? We're a bit worried about him. So we did a post-match interview in the car park under the street light. I miss those days. I miss hanging around with Charlwood. I hope we get to do more stuff at that level, because this was good fun. I miss it gravely. I really enjoy going to them matches. Even now, like, I ever go and catch the odd one back in down Sussex, where we sort of grew up, if you like, as a team. You miss it gravely. Do you know what I mean? Like, you come away thinking, oh yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, the ref's supposed to be that bad, you know, or that committed, that funny. You know, it's you like the fans, a committee. Everything's different. Everything's different, but the passion's no different. Do you know what I mean? Like in Barks, I mean, notably, a bit like me really. Barks is, from minute one today, he's not had a barrel. And you, as a manager, you get situations like that. And I feel like it's when you're pent up on a big game. So I'll have games where I'm really relaxed, and you know that you'll manage everything a lot better, you'll make better decisions. When you have a game that, you know, for 2-3 days, there's a bit of pent up about it. Sometimes you can really quickly switch 10 minutes in. I mean, Barks in this game he's very quickly sort of like thought, right, fuck me, battle, you know, and I think he switched a little bit in this game. And sometimes in reverse, I know that other teams are probably a little bit pent up about playing us. Right. So I'll play on that a little bit. And, you know, recently we've had teams where I've said, listen, they've overplanned the game. They've overplanned it. You know, they're anxious, you know, and that's going to go in our favour. And it always does, always does. It's hard though, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, fucking hell, I'm pent up most of the time. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. I think Barks is too. That's why he works so well with Mike. I think Mike's such a good balance for him. They do work well together. All right, so that brings the end to director's commentary for What's Wrong With Them. So thank you for listening.
Cheers, mate.
If you can bring yourself to do it, please hit like, subscribe, tell your friends and follow us on Patreon.